What I'd like to share with you today, as I said, are the basics. They're aimed at helping you to understand who you are and your creative powers so that you can actually live in alignment with your desires, fulfill those desires, and experience real fulfillment and know yourself as wholeness. And so in order to explore that, first of all, we want to start, I think, with understanding that you are a creative being. So sometimes people have this idea that, well, I am just awareness. I am the witness only, and that is the truth. And all of the rest of it, all of creation, all of manifestation, all movement, all of that is just illusion, and it's bad, and it's to be avoided, and I should not get mired in it, because if I allow myself to, then I will suffer. And so my goal in this life is really just to escape that. And I'll just affirm over and over, I am awareness, I am aware of awareness, I am awareness of awareness, I am the self, I am the self, I am the self, I am just awareness. And, all of this other stuff is just illusion, and I need to get rid of it. And if that's working well for you, then by all means continue with that. But if it's not, then I invite you to tell the truth about that, and maybe explore the possibility that possibly there was a misunderstanding. And so sometimes people, and I don't suppose this would apply to many of you, but to maybe some of you, you might have, like some of us, gotten caught up in that idea that there's this non-dual reality, and that non-dual reality is awareness. It is the witness, that is the only true non-dual view, and that's what's good, and anything else is bad. This kind of very divisive perspective. And maybe I laugh a little bit, because if you start to think about it just a little bit, you'll start to maybe realize that it doesn't even make any sense. If I'm taking reality and I'm dividing it up, and then I'm saying one half of it is the non-dual reality, that's nonsense, right? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. How could half of something be not the non-dual reality? It's illogical. What would make much more sense is that the totality is the non-dual reality. And so as I often present this, you could think about it as a coin. Not that I'm saying that life or reality is a coin, but it's like a coin, in as much as a coin, as far as I'm aware, all coins have two sides. If you've ever found a coin that has only one side, please inform me, but I don't know of any such coin. I think all coins have two sides. I believe that is the nature of a coin. So if you had a coin, I don't have a coin with me, but if you had a coin, you could observe the coin, you could look at the coin, and you could turn it to one side, and then you could turn it to the other side, and it would sure seem as though there are two sides. It looks as though there's two sides. So you could flip it over, you look at one side, flip it again, look at the other side. So it sure seems like there's two sides. However, it's illusory. So even though it sure does seem like there's two sides, you're like, look, everybody can see there's two sides. Who would disagree there's two sides? Everybody can look and see there's two sides. What kind of craziness to say there are no sides? Well, there are sides, but the illusion is that there are two sides, when in fact there's just one coin. So if we focus on the sides, we get lost in that illusion that there are two sides, when in fact it's one coin. And the coin has, we could say, a quality of the appearance of two sides. But could you have two sides if there was not a coin? So is the coin made up of two sides? Or are the two sides qualities of a coin? There's a dependency there. The coin is primary. The two sides are qualities expressed of that primary reality. The primary reality is the coin, and that coin has an expression of these qualities of two sides. So similarly, we can get hung up. We can say, well, it seems like there's awareness, the uninvolved witness, and it seems like there's all of the activity, the illusion of life. Seems like these two things happening. Just like we can observe two sides of a coin. And then we can create whole philosophies based on that. People have done this. I mean, this is much of what religion and philosophy is based upon, is this notion where it's a focus on one side or the other. So there are those that claim this is a non-dual philosophy. It's all the witness, it's all awareness, it's all uninvolved, it's all that and only that. And there was never anything else. And then there are those who say that's nonsense. It's obvious. It's all just material reality. It's all action, activity. It's all movement. There's nothing other than that. Consciousness is merely just a byproduct of material reality. So these are kind of the two extremes. And so people can get caught up in that. They say, take sides. Well, you materialists are wrong. I'm going to fight you. And the materialists say, well, you're idiots and we'll fight you. And they can get into a big tussle over this. But kind of missing something, which is that both of these are expressions of a single reality. And that single reality is not merely the sum of the two parts. The two apparent parts are expressions of that one reality. Just like you can't take two sides and glue them together and get a coin because they don't exist independent. So my invitation is just to observe your actual experience and notice whether or not what I'm saying is true. So have you ever been able to experience any kind of movement or activity or material reality independent of awareness, independent of consciousness? Probably not. And have you ever experienced or known awareness or consciousness as pure consciousness independent of any kind of activity? And I will suggest that you have not. This is a mistake that oftentimes people will make. They'll say, what I have in meditation. Who did that? Nobody did that. It's not possible. Because what would be observing what? If there's anything observing something, then there's still these two, this sense of this duality, the sense of these two sides. But they always go together. They're never apart. You never have one without the other. Because they don't exist independently. There's no such thing as just one and not the other. They always go together. Because the reality is not the sum of the parts. The reality is primary, and those two apparent parts are expressions of it. This life is equally spiritual. This material reality, this appearance, this movement, this activity is equally spiritual. It's all spiritual. There's nothing that's not spiritual. It's all an expression of oneness, all of it. There's nothing that's accepted from that.